Alright, what's going on, Forgotten Nation? I'm your host, FG, and today I present to you Runner 3. For those that are new to the channel, we actually played quite a couple of the Bit.Trip series games as a part of my live streaming FG Plays. But Runner 3 is a bit different because it decides to abandon the Bit.Trip series name as a whole, sticking to everything that made the spin-off game, Runner 2, so weird and fascinating at the same time. And while the fundamental gameplay is still there, you could say this is quite drastically different from the Bit.Trip series and what made Runner 2 so great. Because as a matter of fact, they are changing the formula quite a bit in terms of what's new to offer, what's still here, and what's being changed. And that in mind, even the story itself is a bit different. I'm going to play the first cutscene that you see upon starting the game. I do want to mention that this is version 1.0 for the Switch, and I've noticed something with the footage itself seems a bit off in terms of colors. So hopefully there will be a patch that fixes this, but here is the first cutscene that when you start the game itself plays.
Having capably concluded another awe-inspiring adventure, Commander Video and Command Girl Video now find themselves vacationing in the famously flavorful world known as Foodland. After victoriously vanquishing their adept adversaries in Foodland's semi-biweekly, semi-annual bratwurst pageant, for the distinct delight of the rapturous rapscallions, the commanders are now sunbathing beneath the bright blue sky on the salty shores of Nut Beach. Suddenly and unceremoniously, our convivial comrades are smacked by a troublesome tunagram. The dorsal fin dispatch asks them to make haste to a nearby alleyway known for its seedy clientele. The invitation feels ominous, fishy even. All the same, they set out at once. It's not long before they find themselves face to face with an amicable and enigmatic individual who introduces himself as Cheese Throat. He wastes no time warning the commanders of the Timbletots' terrifying return. Worse yet, he informs them of their repugnant rival's pernicious plan to infect the innocent Foodland with something called the wheat germ. Should he succeed, it will no doubt be Foodland's most calamitous occurrence since the Tupper Wars of yore. Knowing this is likely just the beginning of this viperous villain's malevolent machinations, the commanders thank the vexing visitor and set off at once. There's no telling where this sure-to-be amazing adventure will take them, but one thing is for certain. They may have left the oven on.
So for those that recognize, Charles Martinet is back, not only the voice, but also a playable character, which is pretty insane, because being the voice of Mario, you'd never think he'd have this much impact in a video game besides his voice, of course, but to be a playable character is pretty cool nonetheless. Having played the other Bit.Trip games, I like to try to piece together a bit of the chronological order. So we can tell this definitely takes place between Bit.Trip Runner and Bit.Trip Fates, but it appears to be on an alternate timeline of sorts. Something that would exist after Runner 2, before Bit.Trip Fates, but something that's like the in-between. Because, as I mentioned, after their latest defeat, meaning that there was an adventure after Runner, before Fates, possibly after Runner 2, but it still happened. And it's only Commander Video and Command Girl Video, so the other friends like Junior Mechan, Radbot, even Super Meat Boy aren't there. So it is possible it could be retconned as its own, essentially a brand new timeline of sorts. And the cutscene also reveals that this is essentially a bunch of mini-stories, whereas they start in Foodland, but then the next story happens in the next land, which I recall correctly is Spooky Land. So each island, based on the cutscene, will have its own story incorporated. So the first one being Foodland is based on the wheat germ. And of course the character that's presented this information is, if I recall the name correctly, I think it's Wheat Fart Cheeseburger? I can't remember the name from the top of my head, it's definitely from Runner 2 though. But with that in mind, we're going to start the game, and of course, we have this pretty cool character select screen. We have just the two characters right now. We have Commander Video, Command Girl Video. Being the main character, we gotta go with Commander Video. And if there's one thing I don't like right off the bat, this is a much shorter game compared to Runner and Runner 2. And for the price tag this game's off, it's asking about 30 to 40 bucks. I kind of wish there was a bit more to it than just the 3 worlds alone. But luckily there is replayability, especially since we will be going back to these stages more than once. Once for the gold, another time for the gems, and a third time for some of the bonus items you find. Both being some of the cutouts to play more of the cutscenes the game has to offer, as well as other pickups to unlock some of the extra characters the game has. But first we're going straight to Foodland, and let's see what it has to offer. Now Foodland, being both the first introduced area of the game, also made some appearances at E3. I know the entire map itself was revealed, and some got to play it, so the idea is to make it all the way up the mountain of Foodland. And right off the bat, we're seeing some pretty zany characters, just like what we saw in Runner 2. We got the creepy mountains from the Welcome Wonderland, and we got some new set pieces such as that weird honeycomb guy along with the queen bee flying around. It's zany, it's weird, it's magnificent. But anyways, we got the first stage of the game, the Milky Way. So for the first few episodes of Runner 3, we're going to be going for only the gold runs. So if you guys want to see the gem runs, it will be at a later time in a different video. So first and foremost, let's go for the gold. So alright. Waiting for it. Almost there. And we're in. So the load times are a bit longer than Runner 2. I don't mind it too much as long as it doesn't distract. But let's take a look at what the music has this time around. Alright, I'm digging it. So of course, all we can do right now is simply jump. Now there is the ability to fall down immediately, but it doesn't seem to have that great of an impact right now. Now, of course, as you go on with the gameplay, the music changes as you grab the jukeboxes, which, back in the original Bit.Trip series, used to be Commander Video's cores, essentially his heart. And of course, we have the different routes you can take, but what I don't like right now is the fact that you can only go down this predestined route, that you have to finish it with all the gold in order to go for the gems. That kind of sucks because we were promised the freedom to choose our own routes, and I would have liked to go for the gems immediately as opposed to having to beat this one time. Now, of course, we got the checkpoint system is back. We're gonna jump right over it for our heroic feat. I like to play games with a challenge. Of course, many have told me that this game is pretty hard. It's got quite the difficulty gap right from the get-go. So hopefully this should be a promising, challenging game as opposed to Runner 2 and the first Bit.Trip Runner 2, because even Bit.Trip Runner had its difficulty early on. But alright, this is feeling pretty great. So physics-wise, this feels just like Runner 2. Alright, so now we got Extra, and this is definitely a recall to the main theme that is Bit.Trip Runner, and I'm loving it. This is awesome. Alright. Alright, so we gotta take the down route this time. Super zoomed in camera. I'm not sure if I'm liking the direction they're going with the camera so far. Alright, so we got all the gold, we're at the bonus stage, and of course we get shot out of the cannon just like Runner 2. Ooh, it looks like they changed it a little bit. I remember it used to go like a little slower and you could kind of piece together how it'd go. Ooh, it feels different. It definitely feels different, the cannon. It's gonna take a learning curve, definitely. So that's all the gold, and for the sake of the playthrough, we are going to continue on with the next stage. Right after this loading screen. But yeah, so far the music sounds really good. Alright, so next we have, I remember this was advertised with E3, this is...
A briny solicitation.
Thank you, Charles. But I do remember seeing this as a part of E3's videos. Alright, let's go straight into it. Waiting for it. Come on. We can do it. Come on. Almost there. So yeah, there is definitely the longer loading times. But, a briny solicitation. Let's hear how this goes. Alright, this sounds pretty good so far. It's a lot of mouth noises. I'm hearing like spitting, and they're kind of like going like, pah! Alright, so now we have one of the unique set pieces of Runner 3. We have the vehicles, and I just missed the gold, so you know what that means. We have to kill ourselves. Alright, so, wow, this is actually a pretty long segment. Alright, so the vehicle itself feels pretty good. It's nothing too bad. I have played with worse vehicles, but we did miss the gold, so we do have to mess up. So back to the beginning, we got Hyper again. Now, one thing I did mention is that just like Runner and Runner 2, the evolution of the music is based in set pieces. So first you start Hyper, then you go to Mega, and then you got Super, Ultra, and Extra. Alright, let's keep going. Yeah, the music's like a mix of beatboxing, and it's like spitting almost. Alright, so the flying segment. Yeah. It's not too bad here, but later on I feel like you are gonna have to get used to how it handles. But yeah, for what it is, it feels pretty good. Got the giant honeybee. Alright, so let's keep going. Yeah, I'm loving the set pieces in the background. It's like a raspberry tree. Oh, we got the steps. Alright, checkpoint. Of course we gotta jump over it. And I can already feel a jumping difficulty. But yeah, I'm loving the music. Alright, so of course, once we beat it, we could go down that path, but we're destined to this path alone right now. Alright. And it seems to be making pretty heavy use of the vehicle in this stage. Alright, there we go. Nothing too bad. Alright. Oh. Alright, donut in the bridge. Now, we could go down that way. That is the hero path. But I'm gonna wait for the gem route to do that. Now, upon going to the hero path, you do have to go back to some of the older stages to find these collectibles that they want you to find. I believe there's 3 total, and once you find them, you are able to unlock a new character. Based on Foodland, I would say the characters to be unlocked are the Dill Pickle from Runner 2 and that new carrot character we saw. And I still can't get a grasp on the cannon. Now, based on what we're seeing, I would have to imagine that there's at least 100 pieces of gold per every stage. Pretty good number, especially considering that it takes 100 for an extra life in most games. So I don't mind it. Alright, so what do we get next? Alright, so here's one of the first challenge stages, but of course you need a set amount of gold to do it. We're gonna look at that at a later time, not in this playthrough yet. And next we have the Meaty Tree, as well as this is how you access the retro stages, which, as those that recall in Bit.Trip Runner and Runner 2, they used to be stages where if you collected all the items in a stage, it would go back to some of the older vintage roots of gaming, such as the Atari 2600 or the Nintendo 8-bit era. But this time around, it looks like it's straight out of Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Not that it's a bad thing, but the thing about it is that, whereas the others play just like the main game itself, this is almost a game on its own according to choice provisions. Where you have 3 movements, you're able to move left and right, of course. You have to attack the enemies that you see. It's almost like it's its own dedicated platformer to its own right. And I'm looking forward to that, but that will be covered in a separate video because there are just as many stages in the retro stages as there are the main game. So it's quite the adventure. So let's go back to the main game with
The Meaty Tree.
Alright. So let's see what the Meaty Tree has to offer. And one of the first pieces of set music they announced with this game is something quite interesting. So I'm going to try to stay a little on the quiet side for this stage to let you guys hear it, because nothing will ever top this for a soundtrack. Alright, but here we go. And now we are introduced to the main ability of sliding. Nothing too bad. and the music does work great with the pickups. Originally, I kind of docked it because they changed the sound effects, especially with the trampoline, but as far as gold and jumping, it sounds pretty good. I just do wish they had the classic trampoline sound effect, which you will see as we approach it later on. But back to staying quiet for a minute. Oh, I was not supposed to jump there. Wait, then how? Right, you can slide and hop. I didn't think they introduced that so soon. I mean, this is already the third stage, and they're already introducing this. We didn't get this till like the second world in Runner 2. This is great. Alright, so I gotta hop and slide while approaching the next piece of gold. Alright, best part. I love that scream that they have with the music. I'm actually surprised they kept that in the main game. It's great. This is amazing. No, I missed the gold! I missed the gold! Ho! Damn it! Now I gotta replay the stage. Not that I don't mind it. Alright, so we missed the gold this time around, so I think we might need to save this for the gem route. As much as it pains me to say it. Ah! 1 piece of gold. You gotta be kidding me. Alright, but I think that's gonna do it for this first episode of Round 3, so stick around next time as we go back for that last piece of gold in the last stage, but we also continue with the playthrough. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you guys in the next part. So if you like this, damn it.